Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a bit different from the ones I've done before. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the San Juan luxury padlock, which I understand is a Chinese lock. I want to show you why you shouldn't buy these locks. So we'll focus on its vulnerabilities and try to pick this lock. Additionally, I'll be providing some insights into the design and build quality of the lock, and we'll discuss how it compares to other locks in the market. Stay tuned as we dive deep into the features and flaws of this particular lock. So, unfortunately, as mentioned earlier, the lock doesn't have a key. I was given the lock. I promised to shoot and upload this video, but to make it more interesting at the end, we'll test this lock by trying to pick it with a firecracker. I have a couple of big, powerful firecrackers, and we're going to try to blow this lock open. But first we need to open it. Of course, as expected, we're going to carefully pick it using a shim, and precisely. So, we'll definitely give it a try at least, because we might absolutely need 2 shims for this lock. Indeed, perhaps even more actually. Well, let's take a moment to carefully and thoroughly see what we have here. So for this task, we're just going to take a pair of pliers and simply carefully, let's take a closer examination of the backside of this object. Here, you will find a significant feature, which is a hole. This hole is important to note, as it plays a role in the design context of the object. So, there's a spring here that keeps the shackle of the lock under tension. Right, and this hole is designed with a specific purpose in mind, which is to allow any moisture that might accidentally enter the lock mechanism to have a way to escape and evaporate efficiently. Right. This ensures that the lock remains functional and does not become inoperable due to moisture accumulation. So the lock itself is inoperable. There's no key for it. Here I can certainly see that someone might have undoubtedly tried to pick it using a shim or something similar. Or maybe they absolutely tried with a key and shook it really hard, for a long time, because the cylinder itself is significantly widened. It was impossible to do this with a key. Here, well, let's go ahead and pick this lock now. To do this, we insert the shim into the opposite side of this hole. So, if there's a hole on this side, that means we insert the shim from this side. Here, let's insert the shim. Okay, we insert the shim, usually counterclockwise. This is a crucial step in the process, and it is important to remember that the shim should be inserted carefully. So, for those who don't know, you can't insert the shim from just any side. So you need to insert it counterclockwise, push it down, and only then turn it. And as you can clearly see, the lock has indeed opened. Let's pay attention to make this useful, so to speak. We see it, right? I mean, you know, right? This is a spring-loaded latch designed to hold parts securely until released. So, if we pay attention carefully and observe closely, if we slowly and gently turn it in a clockwise direction, it will eventually come into contact with this specific metal latch. If we turn it counterclockwise, the latch doesn't get stuck. This pedal, and we can easily insert it and push this pedal aside, because if we just try to insert the pedal straight like this, it will be very hard to push through if there's a strong spring in this lock's latch that holds the shackle. So the lock itself is in fact extremely low quality, really bad indeed, even though it's old. Even if there are new locks of this kind, it's not worth buying them. So these locks don't really secure anything. The only thing it protects against is the wind. To prevent the wind from opening the door, you can hang a lock like this. Well, now we're going to try to move on. to a more interesting procedure. We're going to try to blow up this lock using this firecracker. Right now we're going to close it, hang it up, and see if this lock can hold up. If it does, you'll see it. If not, well, it just confirms again that buying locks like this isn't worth it. So, we found a door in a private area with this kind of bolt. And now we're going to hang the lock here. We closed it. And now we're going to carefully hang the lock right here. We've closed it here, and we have a firecracker that fits, let's say, into the shackle of the lock. And now we're going to see if this firecracker can blow this lock off. If we wanted to open this lock, we would need to tie the firecracker on this side, for example. Because if we hit it with a hammer from both sides, we could basically open this lock too. So friends, I'll show you if this lock stays intact. Maybe on another lock. Alright, let's go. So, the explosion happened. Okay, alright, let us proceed forward. Let's go. So the explosion happened, quite unexpectedly and suddenly. Well, the lock is still intact. So, there is a chance we will check this lock again and add to this video how else it can be opened. So, we take 2 small hammers, or in my case, it's going to be a small plastic axe, and a piece of pipe. We press down on one side and hit from the side where we have the hole, like this. We press down. And as we can see, just from the impact, the locking element moves aside, and the lock opens up. You can also open this lock in several different ways. And now, I'll go over those various methods and demonstrate them to you. So, for this particular task, we are going to be using this specific tool, which is equipped with a drill bit. It's actually a Dremel, a versatile and handy tool, and we will be utilizing it to achieve our desired outcome. Let's proceed with the process. Here we see the locking element. If we push it aside, the lock opens. We open the supporting element through the hole next to the lock. We'll take it carefully and gently push the lock aside. And as you can see, it gradually opens up. Just give me a second. Like this. In essence, we can clearly and distinctly observe the intricate process of carefully and methodically opening the crucial and essential supporting element itself through the specifically and precisely created hole that we meticulously and carefully made in very close proximity to the lock. You can see next this lock can be picked in another way. These are the methods I've come across. So the last way to pick this lock, of course, not counting the crowbar or pry bar, is because the shackle itself is very large. You can fit a crowbar or a pry bar in here, and it's actually very easy to break this lock. So there's another option. We're taking 2 wrenches. You can use 2 big ones, but I just don't have them on hand. So what I'm doing here is taking and using these 2 wrenches, which are crucial tools for this task. We apply a little pressure just like this to ensure everything is aligned properly. It's important to be gentle and precise to avoid any damage. Then we move on to the next steps, making sure everything is secure. As you can clearly see, the lock broke and opened up, meaning it even snapped. Not where we drilled. And unfortunately, this lock is indeed of very poor quality. In fact, it's definitely not worth buying these particular kinds of locks. I sincerely hope this video was truly helpful and genuinely educational, and if you found it useful, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel. In the following videos we will cover lever locks, methods of opening lever locks, methods of bypassing false pins, and so on. So if you're interested in this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Take care. All the best.